What's going on, guys? This is the Fullstack bro coming at you with another video today. We're going to talk about why some developers are miserable. So this could be many reasons. This could be not getting out of the house more often, working on projects that you don't really care about anymore, being pushed to the brink to where like you're working late hours, you don't have time to do the things that you want to do outside of work, and then also hanging out with your friends. There's so many different reasons why this is, and I got a list basically just to go through some of the possible reasons why some developers are miserable and how to solve this problem. So the first one is burnout. Plain and simple, you're working on a project and you keep pushing yourself to solve a problem and get things done, and you're trying to get that deadline, and you notice that you're spending, instead of like the traditional 8 hours of work, you're spending more than like 10, 12 hours trying to solve a problem and get things done. If it's your own project, I think that makes sense. But a project that's always going to be there, I think you have to set realistic boundaries. You have to be like, you know what, let me take a break. Let me sit down, not think about this problem. If it's really bothering you, you could take a walk outside. You could do some other extracurricular activity just to kind of get your mind off it, and then you could come back to it. And I guarantee you probably have a different perspective as opposed to you just sitting there staring at a screen all day. My advice: get outside as much as possible. Go to a gym, work on your fitness. Not only is fitness essential for physical health, it's also good for mental health as well. If you are stressed about work or something else going on in life, and you don't have an outlet to get that out, going to the gym helps. Going for a walk, running, that helps too. If you're into like martial arts, join a martial arts gym. Like, learn how to do jiu-jitsu, hit the bag. You're gonna be way more calm and confident when it comes to solving these problems, and won't let work dictate your life. I'm a big believer in getting things done the right way, as opposed to putting something together real quick, get it out there in public, and then run into more problems as opposed to just sitting down and actually working through the correct requirements. In that regard, you just have to say, whoever you're working with, like, hey, we have a major problem here. Like, we have to spend more time trying to solve this problem, not have all these late hours trying to get things done when we're not getting anywhere. Working hard in terms of sitting there for late hours, staring at a screen, is not going to help you be productive. You really need to look at problems in small, like, time windows. 1 hour, 2 hours, right? You're working on a particular like function, and then once you get to that 2 hours, you take a break, then 30 minutes to an hour, then you go back to it. Or you would do what I like to do is like 4 hours of, I got my headphones in, I got my music playing or a podcast, and I'm just working. And I'm just going through my list of tasks for that week and try to get as much done as possible. The second thing is imposter syndrome. So a lot of developers have gone through this. I have gone through this myself. So what I mean by imposter syndrome, it just basically means that you feel like you're inadequate to other developers on a team or who you're working with, and they might know more than you, and you feel like you can't do the job because you don't understand this framework, or you don't understand how to write a recursive function, whatever the case may be. That's not the end of the world. You have the means to learn. We have the means to go online and learn something new. Learn a new language, learn a new framework, try it out for ourselves. We don't have to like go to college to get this information. Everything is online now. When it comes to feeling like you're inadequate in your job, just think about it this way. You got hired for a reason. I don't understand why you would have this mindset of, I'm not good enough. When you applied for the job, you got the job out of all of these other candidates that are out there. I implore you guys to actually ask other people that know more than you how they came to this conclusion. How do they like working with this framework? And like, just be a sponge and retain that information. This is a give or take, right? The more information that you give out, the more questions that you ask to other people, the more information you'll retain, and it will make you a lot better. You're doing a good job. Just stay active, stay grinding, and that hard work will pay off. The third thing is poor work-life balance. Pretty straightforward. This goes hand in hand with burnout. If you are working nonstop and you're not working towards your own goals and you're just trying to get work done, try to stay afloat, the first thing that you need to look into is your schedule. What's going on with your schedule? Are you in too many meetings? Are there any meetings that you could decline because you don't need to be in there? You're just there to listen. These are the things that you have to say no to so that you could get on track and actually get the work that you need to get done, so that you're not spending 12 hours working on something and trying to stay afloat. And then also you have time to spend with your loved ones, like and your friends. Go outside, mingle with people, socialize, not be cooped up in a house and just, do your errands and then come back and then work. And it's not all about work at the end of the day. You have to have a social life. You have to go out and enjoy yourself. Multitasking is not a good thing to do, because you're going to notice that you're going to be less productive in different areas if you multitask. Now, if you're wearing multiple hats and you have to do that, then work as best as you can. Maybe schedule time throughout the week. I'm going to be focused on this area versus this area and so on and so forth, so that you have everything under control and not context switching every single time. And this will help you improve on being in the moment, having work separate from your personal life, and actually spending more time on yourself instead of just working on something that you need to get done. We all have personal goals at the end of the day. And if you don't have a personal goal, set them, figure it out, figure out your why. But for the ones that do know exactly what they want to do, and they claim that they don't have time for it, you do have time. There's 24 hours in a day. You do have time. Either you wake up early and you get things done, and if you have to go to the gym, go to the gym early. If you can't make it to the gym at night and you're working from home, especially, schedule out that time, right? This is the reason for a schedule, is to keep you on track. You have to not spend as much time on a particular task that exceeds over an hour or 4 hours. And you just have to make sure that you tell yourself that you're going to be working on yourself and you're going to be getting to this goal with any means necessary, because you scheduled out that time. Another reason why developers are miserable is project scope creep. And I know a lot of you guys are like, what is project scope creep? I have a video. It should be an annotation on the video here. You can check that out. In a nutshell, project scope creep is when you're working on a project that, say, for example, the deadline is 2 to 3 months from now. Then what happens is you go through the requirements with the stakeholders, everything is all good. And all out of nowhere, they wanted to add additional functionality to extend the life of that project for another couple months. And then now you're sitting there and you're like, I'm still on this project and I'm losing motivation to get this done, because we were allotted 2 to 3 months on this, and now it's gone to 6. And, if it's something new that you're learning, you're working on and you're going to be solving this problem and you want the credibility for it, by all means do that. But then it's going to come to a point where if this keeps happening for different projects, you're going to get tired and fed up. You're going to get tired and fed up with the job that you're doing, and it's going to cause you to look somewhere else. So my solution to this problem is plain and simple: communicate with the stakeholders involved. Make sure that the requirements are correct before they sign off on it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to sit there, you're going to look at the requirements, and if you have no questions, there's no questions asked during that meeting, you're going to take whatever the requirements are for this project as fact. And sometimes that's not true. That's not the case. And there's going to be times where requirements will fall through. It happens. But I'm talking about you have to go through every single ticket and look at the requirements and be like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. We need more clarification on this. And think about different edge cases to where how a user would use that feature or this project, right? How the user would interact with it. And if there's different ideas of different use cases that potentially the users that are going to be using it might run into and is not documented, make sure that's documented so that it's within the project scope and you're not blindsided with another couple of requirements to get done. Asking the right questions will save you a lot of time and headache, and it will actually help you get more familiarized with the project that you need to get done. Then you're going to be more in tune with getting that project done in a timely manner, and you might even get it done early. You know, if you're working on like a decent sized project and it's only you could get that done pretty quick if you understand exactly what needs to be built and think like a developer, think like a person that is designing this for users to use, and just think outside the box of different ways that the users could break it, the user could interact with it, and it will make your job a lot easier in the long run. Okay. And, you know, say, for example, if they start adding requirements in and you're not cool with it, just say no. Like, don't be afraid to say no. What's the worst that they could say? Oh, like, they could argue with you about it or try to justify as to like why this requirement needs to get done. But at the end of the day, if we're extending the timeline for something that wasn't documented in the first place, let's push this to another version of this project. But if it's a mission critical piece that was missed, then then you have to communicate like, listen, if we really need this and you're justifying that we do, we need to have everything documented, because there's not only gonna be a waste of my time, but it's also a waste of your time at the end of the day. So getting the requirements down, asking the right questions will save you a lot of time when it comes to projects and get you off that project a lot faster so you can work on something else. The next thing that keeps developers miserable, and this goes to people who work remotely, okay? Not the people that work in the office, is isolation. So if you're not the type to go out of your house because you've been working from home, and you become more comfortable being home than going out, this is a major issue, because what's going to happen is that you're going to be isolated from the world. You're going to be more in tune with like your phone and just looking at social media, if you have social media, and just not interacting with others, right? I think staying in your house, I mean, it feels comfortable. Like, I've been working remotely for like 4+ years now. And honestly, it's been great. I love it. I love the flexibility with my time, and, you know, being able to do the things that I need to do, and just be able to either work on something from home, go somewhere else and work on something. Like, I could take my laptop with me basically and be online and work. Like, I don't have to worry about commuting to work every day. That's something that I hated the most, is the morning commutes and then the rush hour traffic coming back. But, you know, working from home, at least for me, I noticed that I was more, like, I was working and getting things done. I was more productive, but I lost the social interaction a little bit, because I wasn't really like hanging with friends as much. And, you know, my friend circle was very small, and we're all busy. We're all grinding and doing things, and we'll actually set up time so that we could all hang out together. But I noticed that, and the way to change that is, some days I would just go outside and just take a walk around the block, or I would just go to the gym. I would socialize with people more, make more friends at the gym. When I was in the office, I loved interacting with my coworkers, going out with them. Like, there was a lot of things that we were doing outside of work too, like a lot of parties, and a lot of that was gone, because remotely, you're on your own essentially, and you're on a Zoom call with other people. And especially like if if your coworkers are not close in your area, there's no way to hang out with them. So that's very, very important, is to socialize with others and get outside the house as much as possible. Make it a goal for you, right? To go outside and take a walk every single day, and, you know, interact with people, say hi to people. A lot of people now, like, they're all in their, like, onto their phone, or they're just like not receptive to having communication. And it's fine. It's not a big deal. But staying isolated in your home is not going to help you with anything. It's just going to cause more problems, and it's going to make you feel more depressed that you're in the house all the time, and you're missing out on going outside. Especially, it's summertime. Like, go out, go to a theme park, like, do something. Just get out the house as much as possible, and just get some sun. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you guys on whether this video has helped you and what you guys have been feeling. And why are you like miserable right now as a developer? Is it the projects that you're working on? Is it just like not having as many friends? Or just not being happy with what you're doing right now? I'd love to hear from you guys, all right?